Welcome back to the Fiji Pro, a great heat. The second heat of round one, Filipe Toledo up against Jack Freestone and Ryan Callinan. Well, you can actually generate speed a little easier, so we'll see if Ryan is able to do that. But it's going to be Filipe on the first wave of this heat. And it's a good size ride as he drives up onto the open face and just lets go of a couple of clean carves to get started. Nothing major just yet, but this wave's starting to steepen, and Filipe just whipping through a beautiful backhand snap, mixing up his approach as he brings this one through to the inside. He's going to kick out. How swift was the transition in that backhand hit?
It is kind of cool. He was just biding his time, cruising, going into some nice snaps, and all of a sudden he whipped into a lightning fast backhand maneuver there. So I think the judges will really like the flow that Filipe had, the patience. You know, he didn't try and oversurf this wave at the beginning. And that's something we haven't seen so far in this event today. You know, the conditions are really challenging on trying to connect those maneuvers. So I like that Filipe just kind of cruised here at the start. A couple of snaps, now finally a good section. And there's that crazy speed on tap from Filipe. Now, is it going to be an excellent score? I can't really see an 8-pointer or higher. But it should be a keeper for him. This is definitely going to have him kind of cruising back out to the top of the lineup. Also collected a quarterfinal down at Bells Beach. He was knocked out in the third round here in Fiji. Here goes Jack Freestone. He's setting up the barrel, gets a little bit of cover. Not particularly deep at the moment, but this thing is starting to bowl out. And he's going to get caught inside. I think he's light years ahead of where he should be as far as his rehabilitation goes. But here we go, Jack Freestone up again. Going to go to turns this time. Smart move. And a couple of really big hits there. Should be by far his best number. And the tone's been set from Filipe, 5.83 there, Ron. So there's the scale. Just like Filipe, Jack has got a ton of speed on tap. If he needs to whip it really quick, right there, he can do it. You know, you saw that wave closing in on him. Speed was something was very necessary. So it's great to see that he has that much spark for surfing. You know, in the 80s and 90s, it really was the guys that were in that 5'9" range that kind of dominated. The big kids are the new athlete.
Bit of a throwback to years gone by when you had the likes of Ian Cairns and Simon Anderson. The big heavy hitters as we see Filipe. Just exciting finish to that ride, big tail drop float, and he kicks out. 5.83 on his first wave. This should be similar, 26.5 minutes to go.
Little mini claim there from Filipe too. You saw that little stomp, so he liked that. The other thing that can be, well, here we go, live action.
Let's see what Ryan Callinan can do. There's that style, that flow that you compared to Luke Egan, as Callinan just wears one on the head. Wanted to tuck in, kind of got caught in two minds.
Three quick moves here, Ron, for Filipe. So fast. Look how quick this wave is. More or less a closeout. That was his first one. Nice connection. And then completed it with a nice little rock and roll float. There's the claim. Judges didn't mind it.
6.33, so just a little better than his first wave. Jack Freestone, he's now after that 7.49 to get into the lead. Ryan Callinan, he's comboed. They'll maybe jump on an inch longer. They don't want to sacrifice any manoeuvrability. They really like that subtle touch. The women, however, they seem way less concerned about sacrificing manoeuvrability. They want to feel like their equipment is very stable underfoot, as we see Callinan on a big wide one. Well, let's see a replay of Ryan's last wave. It was a 2.23, so he did break that combination, but he's now chasing a near perfect ride.
Just caught a little bit of an edge, a lot of bump on that wave. Just looking at the replay right there, it didn't look like that wave had a whole lot left in it.
Here he goes again, live action. Callinan. This wave standing up a little bit. You can see that foam ball just sidewinding down the reef here. And as a result, there isn't really a steep wall for this surfer from Newcastle to do his thing. Linked together some nice manoeuvres, but you think back to what Jack Freestone and Filipe were able to do on their scoring rides, and there was at least one high impact turn.
Way different tempo too. It looked like Ryan was very content on being strong but slower, going for those forehand wraps. So a pretty big difference in speed alone. You can't argue the fact that speed is always exciting. It's pretty easy to impress the judges if you're whipping through a maneuver. Those were a little bit more on the syrupy side. Love the style and the technique. You know, he just looks so stable with that sort of knock-kneed stance. That wave was fat at the start, so just a couple of wraps. Then he hit the lip, but again, not really projecting down the line with a ton of speed. But you can't argue with the flow. I mean, he connected a handful of maneuvers. So for Ryan, you know, at least it's going to get rid of that four-pointer. An accomplished resort. It's been here a while. Amazing pool, restaurant, both amazing places to hang out.
Well, back to the water. Cloud break, day one. Jack Freestone chasing down a 7.49. Nice turn there. And trying to squeak in some more moves before this wave shuts down. Bit of foam on the face, but dealing with it pretty well. Gets the finish. And he'll kick out. Here goes Filipe, and there is a super quick turn to get started. He's looking to drop a 5.83. And with big turns like that, it's likely he'll do it. And really committing to this inside. Couple of steep sections and a couple of really big backhand hits. And it looks like he might have buckled his board, just signaling to his caddy there.
You really tighten the screws. You're gonna for sure get a bomb of a score. And you can see getting this tempo up right here, Ronnie, getting the speed up. Now he's gonna unleash, and just the whip. You can see a pretty big discrepancy between Filipe and the other two guys in the water. I mean, I would love to see exactly how fast he is going out there right now. And kept really nice flow out there. He connected all 3 or 4 of his maneuvers seamlessly. So again, I haven't seen any numbers drop yet on our screen, but I'd be surprised if this doesn't go up into the 8s. I like this angle here, Ronnie, because you can see more of the wall. You can see just how he forecasted it, how he connected the dots, stepped on the gas just at the right time.
He's one of those competitors on the championship tour who really comes under the microscope at events like Cloud Break, Tahiti. And he absolutely destroyed that ride, 7.43. So getting up there, one judge went excellent, an 8-point ride. But that score is dropped out, along with the lowest, the 7 there.
There's some wrinkles and bumps, some hurdles for the fellas to kind of navigate through. And that incoming swell, it's taking its time today. Wow, there's Ryan. I think he said, you know what, it's time for me to kick it in gear here. There's that power. Again, a little bit of a slower tempo than Filipe, but a lot more power than Filipe. So where will the judges go? I will say that scale's been set pretty low so far today.
Well, that's going to leave remnants of that over the morning, and that's what we're going to see iron out. I think as the tide goes down, though, we'll see it draw out off the reef, and we'll start to see that bump go away as we see Jack trying to get up into the lip right here.
Well, Jack loading up on his bottom turn here, driving into this second section, and just times it. He's got to get his wave selection on point. He's got a better wall here to work with. Nice big carve to get started. Driving up into the lip now, bashes it. That is a critical turn. And the judges will reward him for it, but this wave is fizzing out. And Ryan is chasing the highest scoring ride of the heat.
He did the exact opposite there. He went on attack mode.
Here goes Freestone. Grabs that rail as he drives through the bottom turn. First turn is strong, the wave shuts down, he kicks through the back to avoid getting pummeled on the rear. Only a couple of turns, but have a look at the replay. The second maneuver, very committed.
Well, you can see he's trying to find where he's going to attack. Nice clean wrap. There's the big one right here. And what made it so exciting was how he recovered from it. It was just a nice hook, you know, a nice snap in the pocket, but he had to step on his tail to avoid purling. So right here, he's going to think, should I hit the lip? Should I hack it? Should I throw the tail? And then he said, wait a second, this thing is guttering out underneath me. And now he steps on that tail just in time. So great reflexes there from Ryan to handle that. It would have been very easy to poke. You know, the judges got to take that into consideration, how critical that section was, Ron.
Well rewarded for just a couple of turns, a 6.83. So with his last 2 rides, Ryan Callinan, he's been chipping away at the requirement, and now he just needs a 6.94 to get into the lead. Just under 6 minutes to go. Filipe holding on to priority at the back. Well, let's check out the heat recap. It was a quick start from Filipe. He's had 3 pretty decent rides, Ross. He only needs 2 though.
I think you'd have to say the boys on a scaffolding out there are really impressed with Filipe's speed. That's the main difference between him and Ryan. Ryan is right in the thick of this heat. Jack's been a little lost, so you know he's kind of struggling. But for Ryan, you know, he's been leaning on that foot more. But this speed right here, that whip, I think the judges are in love with it right now. Wave selection's been great too. This was a long wave. I kind of thought that was going to go excellent. Judges just kept it a little under. So in general, the scale is set a little low. But, you know, I think Filipe, it was a little bit of a bummer that he creased that board because it was looking really nice under his feet, Ron.
Definitely. It's funny that you talk about speed. I think that is the really big difference between these surfers from the QS and the surfers on the CT. When you make the comparisons, there's a speed difference. I think the surfers are definitely aware that in order to do bigger turns, to do high impact maneuvers, you need more and more speed. Filipe is certainly one of the fastest surfers on the planet. Filipe not too far away, not sure he's going to get an opportunity to chase down the 6.94 here. The heat comes to a close. And Filipe is going to take the win. And he'll power directly into round 3. His best finish in this contest is a 9th. That was back in 2014. Knocked out in the 3rd round last year as he just has a bit of fun after the hooter there. But Filipe gets the jump on Callinan and Freestone.